looking to help. Those are people we're talking to. Um, we're just super excited to be a resource for people. And that's what we needed. So that's what we want to do for other people. So that's us. That's the $1 Million Upside team. That's what we're out here trying to do. Today's Zoom is going to be a little bit different. Um, what are we going to be talking about is just kind of a recap of everything that we went through last year. And the goal or purpose of that is one, to just kind of explain some of the things that we went through. But the ultimate thing that I want you guys to get out of it is like, we're just some regular people figuring this out. You know, we have good amount of experience now, but we started with not knowing anything. And so hopefully some of our experiences can be helpful for you. It can put you guys in a higher leveraged position to be able to go out there and do whatever it is you are resonate with you, whatever your goals are. So I think we would be doing all of us a disservice if we didn't start with the first month of the year, right? We're going to kind of try and keep it in chronological order without jumping around all over the place. I know that I do it all the time. So I'm going to try to do that as least as possible. So starting off 2023, we had a little bundle of joy join us at the Mudd household. So in January is when Sailor was born. I want to even back it up a little bit before that because, we didn't just have a kid one day, there is a whole, process that's called pregnancy, right? So throughout that time is when we were really learning all of the multifamily and just diving headfirst into it with the whole squad that we had, which most of y'all know who I'm talking about. So throughout that time, we were doing everything, right? It was us by ourselves, and I mean like with the group that we had, it was us by ourselves doing all of it. We didn't have a team, we didn't have anything. We were literally doing every single thing. And that included KJ, right? She was doing all of the broker calls. I mean, she was pretty much our outreach person. I mean, she was doing all of it. She was making the relationships. She was bringing people into the sphere. She was doing our social media. So as it came closer to, hey, like our kid's about to be born, we had to really figure this out. So think it was November, late November, early December, something like that. We were like, okay, like something's got to happen. We got to do something. We need to bring people on so we can start delegating some of this out. And that word delegate, I'm so glad Oscar is here because we had a conversation one day. It was probably right before we had this mindset shift. I think it was like in November, but he was like, bro, the word of 2023 is gonna be delegate. Like we gotta make it happen. And so I was like, you know what? You're right. It is gonna be delegate. So we're gonna just do that. So I went with it, right? That was the mantra for 2023. So our goal was to just delegate, create a team, structure things around so that way we can essentially remove ourselves from the job that we had created for ourselves because that wasn't going to serve us for the length of the time as an entrepreneur. We can only get as far as we had the time for, which, as you guys know, multifamily is a lot of work. So you need to be able to work with other people, you need to have those systems set in place so that you can work with other people and be able to keep constantly building on that. So short and sweet, we knew Sailor was coming. So we started looking for people. We reached out to this community and we put out a post saying, hey, we're looking to take in new people. We're looking to start building a team. And so we actually had like 80 people sign up for that. And out of that, I think I said it was like 10. I think Jada said it was like 8, but it's somewhere around there. She says 8. So we'll go with 8. So in November or December, we started that interview process, right? And this is of 22. So that process led us into ultimately finding that first round of people, that first group of people, which ended up being like 8 people, as an extension of our team. And we got them started in February, like first week of February, like right after Sailor was born. I told everyone, I was like, hey, let me put the brakes on this. Let me get everything situated at the household. And then as soon as she's born and we're ready to make some stuff happen, we'll get it going. We'll start it up. And so I'm sure Jada can attest to that because she was part of that first round of first draft picks. You know what I mean? And that is what essentially like put us on the trajectory that we've gone on now, we started just delegating stuff. And so with that, we were able to create a small team, which ultimately, this, I have all my notes here. So if y'all see me looking around, like I said, I'm sick, foggy brain. This team that we created was awesome people. Everybody on there was absolutely amazing. They were great, great, great people. But here's the thing. We hired a bunch of entrepreneurs, right? And entrepreneurs, they want to work for themselves. It's kind of like the main thing of an entrepreneur. So a good chunk of those people kind of started falling off as we were going along. And most of them let us know ahead of time. So there's no hard feelings, right? I expected it. I 100% expected. I even told them in the beginning. I said half of you guys are going to be gone in like 2 or 3 months. So I already knew that was coming, and we totally expected it. That's why we brought on more people than what we wanted, and it kind of dwindled down to we had like a solid core four, core five that we were working with at the time. And so, oh man, that threw me off there. And so that led us to our tight knit group. And once we had that tight knit group, it was game time, right? It was game time, baby. So we did all that training. We started just tackling all of the tasks. We were calling, this was the time we were only doing direct to broker. So we were just calling brokers nonstop, doing direct to broker outreach. And then all of those leads that were funneling in, they were getting passed off to our underwriters. The underwriters would then underwrite the deals, spit them back out. I would review them. If it was good, we sent it off. If it needed some changes, we made the changes. So all in all, throughout the year, we probably sent in 100, 120 LOIs, somewhere around that range. And out of all of those, none of those closed. None of them went down. You know, there was probably 5 or 6 that we actually made it into best and final with our offers. But I mean, as you guys know, this was just such a weird year where the sellers' expectations were up here, buying expectations are here. You know, we were coming somewhere in the middle with our creative offers, but there sometimes it just didn't work for whatever their situation was, or sometimes they just, you know, weren't ready to come down on their pricing expectations, you know, not really a lot of motivation. So that was kind of the synopsis of 2024 as a whole. You know, we were constantly working, sending out offers left and right, constantly building relationships, but ultimately none of those came to fruition. We did have one deal that we did close on, but that was a carryover from one of the calls that KJ had done. And so that relationship that we had established ended up becoming fruitful for us in 2024. So I can't talk much about that yet because the raise is not yet completed, but we were able to close on the property, and we had lots and lots and lots of learning lessons that came up throughout the process. That's essentially all I can say about it right now. As once it's completed, which should be very, very soon, once it's completed, then we'll have a huge case study that we can break down for you guys. And I think y'all get a lot of value from it. So stay tuned for that one. Super excited to put that one out. All right, let me keep going. So back to the team. Yeah, we're currently, I see your question, Jaden. We're currently at 108 doors. So from where we started, a little over a year and like 8 months now or something like that, we had 0. Now we're at 108. So still a huge accomplishment, but you know, I'm hard on myself. I'm just like, damn, like that's not enough. Like I'm not even close to what I want. So yeah, it's awesome, but I'm not, you know, it's not good enough for me yet. You know, I still want more. So we're actively hustling. And that actually brings me into the next point, right? I still want to keep it talking about the team. So we had that core team. And actually, in December of this year, Pace did this 18-minute challenge. And that 18-minute challenge, KJ was putting out, you know, what we're doing. And a lot of people have reached out to us because we're doing multifamily. You know, a lot of people love multifamily. There's not a lot of people doing it and doing it well. So through that, we actually were able to add another 40 people to our team. And that was awesome. I see at least one of our team members in there. That's Clint. Clint's been crushing it, absolutely dominating it. And so for that branch or division of the team, however you want to call it, we're focusing specifically on direct to seller leads. So we're constantly calling direct to seller leads now. So we have both. We have a direct to broker that we're still funneling in leads, still building relationships. I see. Let me see. I see you said Clint, Todd, and Alex. So now, oh, and there is Alex as well. Sorry, guys. I only had one view up, so my bad. um, they're constantly funneling in stuff and the leads are coming in, right? And we just got this started. I have at least three that I think will actually convert. We'll see what happens. Um, we're constantly looking at this stuff. And so the goal for those leads is to kind of create the operation where we have now deals that we can cherry pick before they actually get to market. So we're obviously looking for deals for ourselves, and I know the team as well is looking for deals to add to their portfolio. So we'll be looking for ourselves, the team, and we have a specific couple of buyers that we know their buy box and we're working closely with them. So any one of those people can kind of pick up those leads before we market it out to the public and either wholesale them off or do whatever it is with them. So that's kind of how the team has evolved. You know, we went from a group of people down to a smaller group of people to now a massive group of people. And I just see it getting so much better. You know, we're still obviously working out bugs, ironing out a lot of the SOPs, but man, oh man, it's been a journey with just the team itself. So I want to go into the next thing and I kind of keeping it on the team. One of the best things that came out of 2023 is actually not a thing, it's a person. And this person is here with us today. Now, I'm sure you guys might know who I'm talking about, but freaking Jada Foley, man, holy crap, we would have not gotten through 2023 without Jada. So I kind of want to give Jada the opportunity to talk about her experiences so far. But what I want to say about it is just, man, she absolutely helped us. Like I said, she came from that first round of picks. And ever since then, she's just been working with us, growing with us. I mean, she essentially took over, like I said, a lot of roles that KJ was taking on, like specifically the social media, doing a lot of the outreach. Most of the raising capital calls that I ever had were set up through Jada or KJ. And so that's amazing for me because I don't really like doing that. You know what I mean? So I like having the calls just show up to me. So Jada, I'd love for you to kind of just talk about your experiences so far, and then we'll continue into it. But huge shout out to Jada. She's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Making me flustered. I'm gonna cry. I don't know how to take compliments. It's
That
amazing.
would be awesome. Yeah, let's make Jada cry on the Zoom. It's recorded, it's going to YouTube. Let's make her cry. That'd be great. Let's just put
My
all the love in
God.
the chat. Let's do it.
Jesus. Well, I am one just so excited to be here. It's so weird to be like on this side of the Zoom where you're like, oh, the speakers are spotlighted. I'm one of those. Wow, it's crazy. I remember I would watch you guys. I'm pretty sure KJ had invited me to a stream and we hadn't spoken before, but she was just inviting like all the sub two people when you guys were like really heavily invested in streaming like so many days a week.
Yeah.
And after the first one, I was like, I think I was pretty consistent and I would watch you guys all the time, which was super cool because I didn't do that for anybody. So that goes into how much I just love everybody on the team. I really, after having joined, I think it gave me the perspective I needed on what kind of partners I want to be around and what kind of people I want to surround myself with. Like, I don't feel I feel one, super supported, and two, I feel like it's really easy for me to ask for help when I need it, which is very difficult in other aspects of my life. Like sometimes with previous partnerships, I would ask for help, or they would say, ask for help if you need any, or if you don't know what to do, and I wouldn't know what to do, and I'd ask them for help, and then they get mad at me. Sorry, I'm learning. So I would say that's just the biggest thing that I love about having just met you guys in general through the streams and having worked or started working with you guys. Like that was a really, really great learning lesson for me. So that's a thank you. Um, I also feel like being on a team, and not just a team, but this team has leveled me up tremendously. I remember, I mean, all everybody kind of knows that multifamily isn't like a solo sport. Like you need a team. And man, I can very much attest to that. Not only do I now have people I can just ask for help, but so many opportunities opened up. So like our single family team that we'll go over more, it gave me a reason to actually go to conferences and gave me the like I guess inspiration and confidence that I needed. I mean, the first conference I went to was the Sunrock Summit, and all of us were there. And I would not have known what to do at all if you guys weren't there. I probably would have sat and watched all the speakers the whole time. So that was so good.
Yeah, for y'all listening, that's not what you do. I mean, it sounds like that's what you should do, right? They've got all these great speakers and the presentations. Trust me, that's not what you want to do. You want to go stand in the hallways and just talk to everybody. Just literally, you are not there for the speakers. That's great and all. The speakers are there to get new people in and then ultimately just give them a little bit of information. And usually it's to sell a course, right? There's always some course or something they're selling at the end of it. That's the main thing that's going on with the speakers. What you really want to do is be networking with everybody. That's the
Yeah.
important thing to be doing. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead, Jay. Sorry.
No, I mean, I was going to say the same thing. I think the most educational conference I went to was Rod Cleef's because he actually, all 3 days, it was 90% him actually teaching underwriting and teaching like sourcing and stuff like that. So that's where I'm like, okay, if you don't know anything about multifamily, go to that one so that you learn. But if you know it, then it's, yeah, everything's just about networking, like what you're saying, what Jaden's saying. So um, yeah. And then not only that, I've just gotten so much support in my own endeavors and like my podcasts and stuff. You guys are always pumping me up and it makes me so happy. So that's been my journey with the team that I can remember right now.
And the part she left out is she's moving to Texas, guys. We don't know for how long, but it could be forever. She's moving to Texas.
I've never
So,
wanted somebody to move in with them so badly
hey,
as you guys.
the purpose of this is now we won't be virtual. We'll be coming together and be able to just focus on this business, build this out, and then you can go wherever you want. And it's okay. We got let's crush this. Let's make it happen. We can be a lot more hands-on with everything that we're doing. It's just like those that have an office, right? And so instead of having an actual office, because she's in Cali, we're in Texas, like just move to Texas. Let's just grind. And then yeah, and KJ said you're gonna get to meet all the Houston fam. So basically, Jada's about to get another seven brother. No, there's 10. I think there's like 10 brothers and sisters, something like that. I'm a family of 5 kids, and KJ's a family of 4 kids, and then the spouses and significant others. Right, there's a lot. You just
Oh,
upgraded from single child to like cheaper by the dozen.
it's gonna be
uh,
lit. And
so
going
yeah,
along with that, I recently found out that I like working outside of my home, or at least just where other people are. So like when I go to cafes or like a library or something, it's actually really, really motivating. So I'm so excited for us to actually be there so that when we brainstorm about different projects that we have going on, I know it's going to be super focused. Good. Ah,
I know. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. So y'all watch out. Y'all watch out. The word of 2024 is alignment. So we're getting in alignment with everything that we're doing. We have a lot of really, really cool ideas. So we're excited. Y'all saw what we did with Delegate. Y'all know what I mean? Y'all saw that. So the word 24 is alignment. So that's what we're gonna be focused on. That's gonna be the mantra. And yeah, KJ said Joseph works better with someone too. Yeah, 100%. I like having a buddy. I work better with the buddy. Just everything. Like the when I was working out consistently, I had a gym partner. I went every single day to the gym, like literally for 4 years, every single day to the gym because I had a gym partner. Then when that partner stopped working out, I was like a lot less consistent with it. So get a buddy, battle buddies. So wait, before we move on, one of the things I want to kind of extract from what you were talking about, right, is you brought up the importance of the team. And like I said, I want you guys to kind of learn from our experiences. And my personal experience and Jada also had similar experiences that it was a lot more difficult to kind of do all of this by ourselves. And then once we established a battle buddy or partnership, or it doesn't have to be an official partnership, but just somebody that you can work with, it made it so much easier. Like we got exponentially better. Like it wasn't just like, hey, now I have it wasn't 1 + 1 = 2. It was 1 + 1 = like 11, right? The weird math where we would just exponentially got way better. Everything that we were doing just got so much more streamlined and efficient. So it was absolutely incredible that we found the right team. And another thing I want to point out is we weren't necessarily looking for another partner to bring into the fold. It just happened that, hey, we see Jada crushing it. We see the value she could bring to what we're doing here. You know what I mean? She's not just necessarily someone that's just working for us or with us. Like I think she would be more effective as somebody within what we're doing and adding value to the actual core team itself. So there's a couple other people like that on our team now. The problem is it the right time? Do they have the time? That's the biggest thing on for one of them. Like, do they actually have the time commitment that we do, right? Because we're full-time real estate. You know what I mean? Like, this is all we do. Whereas if some of those others, this is what they want to do, but they're not quite there yet. And man, that was just a perfect segment. This part is unplanned. You know, we planned out the details and what we want to talk about, but man, it's just flowing so good now. So moving on to the next thing, right? The timing, the not having enough time, or what I was just mentioning. One of the things that we learned, kind of not in the best way, one of the biggest struggles we had of last year was, as you guys know, we just dropped everything and just started doing multifamily. We just said, screw it. I don't want to do any of that anymore. We're just gonna do multifamily. Like no more wholesale, no more JV deals. We're like, screw all of that. Multifamily is it. That's all we're gonna do. And so we did that, right? For a little over a year. And now I'm speaking specifically about KJ and I, right? We we had a nest egg that we were sitting on from all of the deals that we were doing on single family. You know, we had a nice little chunk of change that we were living off of. And so that kept us afloat throughout that entirety. You know, we paid for mentorships with that. We did a bunch of stuff with all that money. And we were able to get deals. But as you guys know, multifamily takes a lot longer to actually get the money, especially when you're taking over value add properties that don't produce right away. You know what I mean? So you still have to go in there, spend more money to fix them up and get them stabilized. So then now you're getting actual cash flow from it. But it may take like one of the deals we had, that was a year plan at least. And it was probably going to be more, but that was at least a year. The second deal we had, there was a huge mess with the property management. We ultimately just fired them because they were just awful. They were awful, and so we had to take over as self-management for like 2 months before we found another company to replace them. So that backtracked our plan another like 6 months because we essentially had to restart over from the beginning because we had to eliminate a lot of these people. So we had those two properties, but they weren't producing income for us yet because of all those situations I just mentioned. And so you get paid a little bit up front, but it's not really enough to live off of. I mean, unless it's like a massive 300 unit deal where, you know, there's multi-millions of a acquisition fee. So one of the things that we had to do was figure out how are we going to get that other income, right? And I know this is not necessarily talking about multifamily now, but it's important because you have to have something coming in order to be doing this, or you have to, like, if you're unemployed but your spouse or whoever is, you know, the breadwinner bringing it on, great, you can do it. You don't have to do anything else. That's perfect. Let them pay the bills. You focus on the multifamily. But for us, we were both doing this, KJ and I. So we had to also create our single family team and make that be income producing for us. So that covers our bills. And the multifamily is what we actually want to do. So we had to back away a little bit from what we were doing with the multifamily, which is not what we wanted to do at all. but it's what we needed to do because we were now getting closer to that position. It's like, okay, like we need some more money coming in. If not, we're going to be in a bad position. And now we have a kid. It's not just you and me. Like, screw it. I don't care. I'll live on the streets. It doesn't matter to me. But I got to think about my wife and kid and make sure that they're taken care of. So we had to go back to doing the single family that we knew and we were good at. So ultimately, I don't want anything to do with that in the long run. But if we can get that to a point where it's automated, which it almost is, that will be a cash cow for us. And we can just live off of that and then focus more on what we're trying to do with the multifamily stuff. So I say that as kind of a lesson, take it for what you will, but there's people will just say, go and quit your job. I will never be an advocate for that because of all of the experience that I went through. AJ and I, we got forced into real estate essentially because COVID wiped us out. Like we lost everything during COVID. So we had to start over. And so real estate was what saved us, honestly, in that time frame. But it also, we weren't mentally ready for it. We kind of just had to figure it out. Yeah, and Felix said a good point. It's like not until you reach a certain point. Like once that real estate is replacing what you need to live off of and it's coming in consistently, by all means, leave the W-2. It doesn't matter. But you got to have that security so that way you can do it well. Because when you're doing things from a position of desperation, you're not going to do it well. And so that was a huge learning lesson for us, which I would have loved to not have to learn that and just like kind of skip ahead to the end. That would have been great. But that's not what happened. And so I'm saying this now as like a learning lesson for everybody that if someone's just telling you to quit your job, really think about what that means, what that's going to entail. And like, do you have the positioning to be stable, to be safe and secure, especially if you have loved ones to take care of as well. So that's the only thing I really want to talk about on the single family side. Remember, this is multifamily that we're talking about. Felix says health benefits. I'm not going to be too great on that. I've never had health benefits, so I was a personal trainer right before COVID. But yeah, I have any health benefits, so it wasn't a difference for me. But yeah, health benefits are a really good point of concern for a lot of people when they have them with the W-2s. But yeah, that's what we'll talk about on the single family. Let's bring it right back to multifamily. This is what you guys are all here for anyways. So one of the other things that happened for us, I want to bring up two things. We'll just go to Nora. One of the things that we did that was awesome, and I think this was in August. I don't remember, but it was August or June or July, whatever. I can't remember. We hosted our first meetup and it was absolutely incredible. I mean, we have so many people to thank for that. We have so many people to thank for that. One, I want to shout out Scott Erdman. I don't believe he's here, but huge shout out to Scott because we were able to get like a $40,000-$50,000 venue completely free. We got it all for free.
Damn.
Everything we had to pay was like $1,000. And we got sponsors to come in and pay that as well. So I want to shout out Carrie Clark for coming in to sponsor at the last minute for us because we had a sponsor and they pulled out. I won't say who they are, but we have a sponsor and they pull out. And Carrie was like, bro, I got you. Whatever you need, I'll do it. At literally the night before. So we were about to have to cancel the event. Like crazy stuff, right? But that event was such an amazing time for us. One, it was just a good time in general. It was super crazy. It was super, super crazy how it all went down. I see Oscar in the chat, man. Me and Oscar were just stressing out the first couple days prior, man. I don't know if you can talk right now, Oscar, but maybe you want to talk a little bit about that if you are. But it was so strong.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh my gosh, guys. It was one of those days where Joseph and I didn't know if we were going to have the event the next day or not. Literally, it was like 7 or 8 p.m. at night, maybe even later. And we were like struggling to find the last sponsor that we needed, the last one. And so just like Joseph said, we called Carrie Clark, one of our awesome broker guys that we've had on the podcast before here. And just like he said, he was like, yeah, I got you. I'll take care of it. And we were like celebrating so much because we were like, dude, this means we don't have to pay anything. We got this whole event done creatively, nothing out of our pockets, and everything worked out just exactly the way we needed to work out. So it was an amazing win for us because we not only did we get an awesome venue, but we got an awesome turnout for that event as well. And we met some people, one person in particular who I see in the chat here that everybody knows that we would have never met had we not done that deal. I mean, that whole event. And look at him now. He's here. You know, from that, it sprung up a bunch of other things. So yeah, bro, it was an amazing opportunity for us to host our first event. So proud of us. Love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And that person that he's talking about, guys, is Kyle Troyer. And Kyle has become a significant member on our team. He's a team lead for the direct to seller. He's also an underwriter for us. So huge shout out to Kyle. Kyle was not even going to come to the event. He thought he is fun. Oh man, I'm gonna say what you had told me the other day. He basically said that he's like, man, this is like a really fancy place. Like I'm probably not even gonna meet these people. And he's like, they're probably like way out of my league or like a really big deal. And then he was like, and then I met them and I was like, oh yeah, never mind. And I was like, oh wow, thanks, Kyle. Appreciate that, bro. But yeah, no, he didn't mean it in a bad way, but super awesome. But it's things like that. Like, and that's what I want to say is you never know who you're going to meet at these places, right? And we had no idea that we were going to meet Kyle, who ultimately became a significant member of our team. Like there's so many opportunities that arise from things. I don't know about you guys, but I believe in God. And so God puts those things in front of people and you have to just be open to receiving it, right? If you've ever read The Go-Giver, it doesn't just talk about giving, it talks about receiving as well. So you have to be open to receiving those moments of giving. And I believe that that was just one of those things. And it was a really good time because after that event, you know, we went back to Oscar's place and had like this huge game night for like hours. And
5 hours.
everyone was like, yeah, no, this is the last one. This is the last one. And every single time they're like, okay, one more. And they're and Felix was there too, man. And huge shout out to Felix. He's another integral member of what we're doing. He's a partner in multiple of our deals. So huge shout out to Felix. If y'all don't know Felix, y'all got to go meet Felix, man. He's still a little salty that I whooped his butt in Secret Hitler, the game. And it's okay, you know, it's okay. But anyways, back to what the topic at hand, right? The meetup was a huge success. We're definitely going to be doing more. The next one probably will be in Houston. Sorry, Oscar, you're going to have to drive. Good thing Jada is going to be in Texas, so she can just drive right on over there with us. But definitely be on the lookout, guys. We will post about a whole bunch when we are ready for the next meetup. And I think it'll be a good one. We've been talking to a lot of really cool people, but I think we'll, you know, I don't know if it'll be a $40,000-$50,000 venue, but it'll be a good one for sure. There'll be the people there will be millions of dollars worth, so that will make it worth it.
And it's definitely happening like while I'm in there. So really be on the lookout because I have started talking to some of those, you know, $1 million people that he's talking to, and they're saying while you're here, we're gonna take advantage. So
oh yeah, love it. All right, so I got 1, 2, 3, at least 3 more things to cover, and then maybe we can open up for a quick Q&A. So one of the things I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it was a huge critical moment for us as a group, and I think for some of the community members as well. Oscar's girlfriend, Ione, huge shout out to Ione. She created our MDU analyzer, the analyzer that we give out, not necessarily give out, that we sell as part of being in the community. Is the opportunity to get that analyzer is super, super awesome. I get compliments on it anytime I show people like what we use to underwrite. And it's been incredible to have that resource because it has made so much effort. Oh, snap. Holy crap. Whoa,
officially his
whoa.
fiance.
You're just gonna gloss over that? Oscar says, officially my fiance now, by the way. What? I know. Where was our phone call, bro? What? All right, we're gonna have to talk about that. I'm about to call you right after this. That's messed up. You should have told me, man. I need to be the first to know. No, I'm just kidding. But congrats, man. That's super awesome. Okay, Ione, Oscar's fiance, made this awesome analyzer that we're constantly making updates to and changing. And it's been such a blessing to, I know, to multiple people. I see a couple of the VIPs here, and it's been great. So anyone that purchases the analyzer gets access to our small community. It's the $1 million VIPs. And in there, we provide a couple different things, but the main thing that I think is the most valuable is we'll do a deal review 2 times a month where we sit down, and any issues, any questions that the VIPs have, we're there. We'll answer it, whatever it is. We'll work through it with them. I mean, if they're in the middle of a deal and having problems, we will work on it. I mean, even if they call us up in the middle of the night, let's do it. So we put a lot of attention towards the VIPs. Anything that they want, like, we'll make it happen. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. If you're interested, reach out to Jada. I'm gonna push down on Jada, and we'll go from there. The other thing I want to talk about, last 2 things. One, and I'm going to talk about one specific event, but there was multiple events that I went to. But we got into Vina's inner circle, and the way we did that was we joined her first multi-fi info, or multi-fi what's she called, mastermind. I don't know why I said info. It was awesome. Absolutely the best mastermind I've ever been to. I mean, if y'all were watching my story at the time, it was just crazy. I mean, that one night we went to some game show. I was basically like on Family Feud, Wheel of Fortune, all at once. It was incredible. And then I got to eat afterwards. You know, that's my favorite part, is eating. So it was just such a great event. And it was the longest event I went to. Like, normally you go and it's like it ends at 5 and then you just go out and do your whatever else you want. It was literally from like 8 in the morning to 10 at night every single day for like 3 days. And I didn't even feel like it was that long. I felt like I needed more. It was so impactful. Man, we learned so much there. It really was pretty great. There was only one thing that was, I felt could have been a little bit better, but it's okay. It was ultimately an amazing event for us. I met so many, like I said, right? Go to these events. The biggest thing is not the knowledge, which I got a lot of knowledge from this, but the biggest thing is the networking. So I met multiple people that are over millions of dollars in net worth. They're actively looking to be partners with somebody that knows what they're doing and is sourcing deals, finding deals. So now we have a bunch more connections, potential partners and or buyers. If it's not a deal that we want, we can just pass it off and collect a fee, right? So we have a bunch of different options for all of the things that we're doing, right? And we met more people. We met the things that you should be looking for anytime you go to an event or just networking in general. You should be looking for 3 kinds of people. You should be looking for someone that is way above you and can teach you. You should be looking for someone that is at your level and can be an accountability partner or doing things with you. And then the third is you're looking for people that you can help, that you can provide value to. And then in turn, when they are actually doing things, they will be coming back to you with those deals. So those are the 3 kinds of people you should be looking for. And I would say, if you're really not a people person, find one of each of those people and then call it a day, right? Bare minimum. Right. But if you're a person like KJ that just like wants to be talking to people, like, just go out and talk to everybody, right? Just talk to everybody and then bring them to somebody. Like, so our structure, at least with KJ and I, she's like this, she brings them into the atmosphere, right? She's the gravity. And then like I'm the core and the inside. Like, I don't really want to do all the networking. I do it anyways, but I don't want to. And so with her, she'll do it all, bring them all, get all the attention. And same with Jada, and they will bring them into what we're doing and then set up meetings with me, and then I'll do the rest of it from there, right? So they get them in through the door, and then I close the door behind them. That's our little setup, a little analogy there. But man, it was so great. It really was. I had a great time. KJ would definitely had FOMO. Shout out to KJ for staying with Sailor and allowing me to go. It was really great. We got access to a lot of different stuff. We're in another community, right? Another multifamily community that we're added to our tool belt, essentially. And it was really great. The last thing that I want to talk about, and this will actually be carrying over into this year. I almost said 2025. Yeah, I mean, it should carry over that long too. But due to Jada, this one's actually from Jada. I don't even know if you know what I'm going to say, but we didn't talk about it before, but I thought about it. I remembered. So due to Jada, at one of the networking events went to, I think this was the Dallas one, when we all went to Dallas, she went to a bar. We showed up at this bar, and KJ and I, we couldn't take Sailor in because we had her, and it was a bar. It was loud, and shoulder to shoulder. And so Jada went into this bar to just network for the team, right? She was there for the team. She was doing her role. She was the networking queen for the event. And so she actually got connected with Tim Mai. And for those of y'all that don't know Tim Mai, this little Asian dude in Houston who's absolutely killing it in the real estate game. Man, this guy is awesome. I love this dude. A really, really humble, genuine person. And he started the TMC, the Teen Millionaire Challenge. I think the first year was last year, 22, right? And so that was the first year that they did that. And basically what it is what we're doing here, but for teens, right? This is exactly what it is they're essentially just teaching teens how to do multifamily real estate for free. Isn't that the greatest thing ever? And so he's setting these teens up to be multifamily moguls in their life, right? And he's giving them the tools to be able to go out and do that. And we got signed up because he asked Jada, say, hey, I like you. I like your vibe. What you're doing. You seem like a intelligent, smart person and you're crushing it. So he asked Jada to be the manager, operator, or what do you want to call it? You want to call it manager?
Project manager.
There you go. Boom. The project manager of the whole challenge. And so she was overseeing it. And because Jada got into that opportunity, she asked KJ and I if we wanted to be a part of it. So now all three of us are doing this challenge and it's awesome. You know, it is a lot of work, but it's pretty great to be able to give back, not only to like-minded people, but also to the younger generation, right? Because those are the people that really matter, right? Don't get me wrong, you know, the people that are a lot older, they're going to be gone soon, right? We have to pass on the knowledge, right? We have to pass it on. Otherwise, why did you learn all this information? Right? It's kind of pointless if you just die with it. You know what I mean? So we got to pass on that information to the kids, and that way they can go and it's the domino effect. And they can go, if we tell 5 people, that person will go tell 5 people, and so on and so on and so on. So I really think it's an amazing opportunity. And as part of that opportunity, in addition to it, we're actually going to be starting a fund, a crowd fund with the teens. So that way the teens can get hands-on experience doing a fund. And so with that fund, sorry, man, I went this whole time without coughing. I'm so surprised, but I'm about to have to cash out. We went through this whole, I'm sorry, we got the fund, and the fund is going to be focused around putting the money into deals as like risk capital as well as EMD, basically all like the smaller amount things that you can kind of insert yourself into a deal with trusted operators. So it's not going to be just anybody. These are going to be people that have been around for a long time, been consistently doing this and doing this well. They have track records. So we're super excited to be a part of that. And, you know, Jada and I and KJ, we're essentially leveraging Tim Mai, who is a boss at networking. Like he has an entire community around raising capital and networking. So we're able to use his connections to get into deals with them. And we're raising the funds from other people, and it's a crowd fund. So it'll be a small amount. So anybody can get into this fund. Anybody. You don't have to have 50, 100 grand to do this. You can get in with as little like $1,000, or I think they said 500. Is that right? Or is it 1,000?
Yeah, I think we're trying to do 500 for the kids, and we're trying
Isn't
to
that
figure out
crazy?
how to do it for adults too. But yeah, like and to kind of add to the whole thing that we're doing, what I love is that Tim is just thinking about the kids and the upcoming generation. And it really resonates with me because my mom does that. My mom has a nonprofit, and the whole point of the nonprofit is to be like a guidance center and something that she wanted to do or that she wished she would have had when she was younger. Because the way that, and she's always been somebody that's like, I want to change the world and make it better. And she ended up kind of understanding that in order to do that, you have to get to people young. You have to make sure that they're healthy in their minds and healthy in their abundance kind of mindset and the money mindsets and just and a lot of different aspects that I grew up with my mom, so I was lucky enough to always have those mindsets. But moving to different places, I would see just a lot of people staying in the rat race, a lot of people being really negative and not really even understanding it. So these are a lot of different topics that we're going over with the kids and stuff. So it's just I think it's a great program, and I'm really excited to see it grow.
Well said. Well said. That's all I got, guys. That was a lot. And that's like high level. That's like trying to put 12 months into 50 minutes. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a lot that happened along the way, more that I definitely want to talk about. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys like a high level summary of the year and kind of what we went through. And like I said, once we're officially done with that deal, we'll be doing some case studies on that, and it'll be good, especially for those in the VIP. You'll be getting a lot of insights because we recorded all of those meetings. We
Nice.
recorded all of them, so it was great. It was great. Anyways, if anybody has any questions, I'm open to doing like a Q&A. Otherwise, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else for you guys.
Yeah, Joseph is also huge shout out to not only KJ for being a what is it, a down big like holding it down at the Mud House. She started with all the content when they first started, I think in 2022. And even now she's a lot of the behind the scenes. Anytime we post anything, I want her approval, and because she's just got a great eye and she understands how to network. I think it's just innate in her. And then also a huge shout out to Joseph. I don't think they both give each other enough credit. Joseph is, I think, one of the perfect people to be a leader because he doesn't necessarily like crave it. He doesn't crave the power, but it's like one of those situations where, a great leader gets thrust into power or thrust into like the responsibility, and then they hold it down from there. And he's just a fantastic, fantastic person to do so. I've had a lot of different situations where I didn't necessarily know how to handle it, or how to talk with somebody if I didn't think, or, if there was miscommunications and stuff. And so he's somebody that I know I can always go to, and he has such good responses. Like, it's insane. Like if you're like, I'm so pissed at this person, they don't do X, Y, and Z. And he's like, well, maybe see how you can help them. I'm like, oh my God, I wouldn't have thought of helping. That's incredible. So yeah, go team.
Oh, thanks, Jada. Man, now you're gonna make me cry. The goal was to make you cry, not me cry. Uh-oh, I see Kyle. Where you at, Kyle?
Let's go. What you got?
Let me find the unmute here.
We got you.
Yeah, I just want to shout you guys out and say how much I appreciate all you've poured into me, and it's been an incredible journey, and especially getting to meet you guys all. That was awesome.
That
But
was
just to
so
clarify, what was that?
it was so like random.
Yeah.
I think you saw us
Yeah,
on like meetup.com or Eventbrite, and you're like, okay, it's free.
I still don't understand it, but but yeah, it was great. But anyways, I just want to shout you guys out, and also I just want to second Joseph on the analyzer that you guys have. I've used like a lot of different ones I've played around with, and it's definitely like the best one. So guys, if you're interested in the VIP, I'm a VIP, and I love to share what it's been like for me so far. So that's all I had.
Well said. Well said. Hell yeah. Shout out again to Ione for making that, because I'm understanding of Excel. I can use it once it's there for me. But having to go and actually build it from scratch, oh my gosh, it would have took me like the whole year just to do that. So shout out again to Ione, future Jimenez. And thanks for the words, Kyle. I appreciate you, bro. We love you, dude. Cool. Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, Oscar says pizza rolls and taquitos at my place after the meetup. Not fancy at all. Yeah, that was the funniest thing to me is that we had this like huge, massive venue with like super fancy finger foods and like a fancy spread and everything. And then afterwards, we didn't have anything, so we just went to Walmart. I grabbed like some cheap pizza rolls and taquitos, and I was like, "All right, dinner's served." And that's what we ate afterwards. It was pretty funny, man. Uh, that's all I got, man. That's all I got, really. I said taquitos.
Taquito. He's saying that because
Uh,
KJ in the chat is saying taquitos.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more about the analyzer, learning more about the VIP, feel free to just reach out to me, reach out to KJ. You can reach out to Joseph, but he's super busy. So reach out to me or KJ. Yeah, it's not only a great analyzer for people that are actually like underwriting deals, but also for people that don't want to be the underwriter like me. I loved numbers when I was younger and in school, and now they kind of stress me out. But it's a really, really like comprehensive but not complex thing. So like I definitely it's simple for even me to understand, which is super cool. So yeah, if you want to learn more, reach out. My name's right there.
Oh, it's right there. All right, guys. Well, that's it. That's all we have. Jada, you got the Friday song?
I do.
Oh, snap, crackle, and pop. Beautiful. Let's